Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 29, verse number 55. Translation. My dear king, just try to understand the allegorical position of the deer. Be fully conscious of yourself and give up the pleasure of hearing about promotion to heavenly planets by fruitive activity. Give up household life which is full of sex, as well as stories about such things, and take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the mercy of the liberated souls. In this way, please give up your attraction for material existence. One second. Yeah, Hare Krishna. So we continue to discuss the discussion between Narad Muni and King Prachin Bharishat. In last few chapters, Narad Muni is visiting King Bharishat, who is very much busy in fruitive activities, karma kand, performing pious karma so that he gets elevation to heavenly planets, Swargalok. That is the goal of life of King Bharishat, that I should go to heavenly planets. I should get to stay in heavenly planets. I should have residence in heavenly planets. And for that I should work hard, performing yajna, performing fire sacrifice, so that I acquire lots of pious credits. And with that pious credits, I get to stay in heavenly planets. Just like somebody in a city may work very hard to acquire money, save money, so that he can purchase a posh bungalow in a very opulent locality. Same way he wants a very posh residence in opulent heavenly planet. Or somebody in place like India may work very hard to get a visa to America and then to get a green card and stay there. These are all fruity mentalities. So Narad Muni saw King Bharishat is being misguided. He is performing so much karma kand and killing animals in fire sacrifice just to go to heavenly planets. And why does he want to go to heavenly planets? To do first class sense enjoyment. There is sense enjoyment of a pig. But a human thinks, oh, what is this pig? Third class, eating gutter. I am better. I am eating paneer. But the humans, in compared to Indra, a third class. Indra has much better sense enjoyment. So King Bharishat is thinking, I should go to heavenly planets and reside there so that I can have first class sense enjoyment. There you can drink unlimited somras, intoxicant, but it is not sinful. It doesn't damage your health. And you don't get intoxicated, drunkard. There you can have unlimited enjoyment with apsaras and they don't become pregnant. So, heavenly planet I should go. But Narad Muni, he comes and explains to him through the story of Puranjan that this is not a good thing to do. But King Bharishat is so dull-headed, he doesn't understand the story, which is his own story. So Narad Muni has to explain him the story again. But still he doesn't understand. Even if he understands, he is not ready to renounce. Sometimes we come across audience who repeatedly hear Srimad Bhagavatam classes and they become very attracted and they clap and they are respectful, but they are not ready to take a step of surrender or commitment to 16 rounds or renouncing self gratification. They like to hear and they understand, but they are hesitant to take a step further of putting it into action. So Narad Muni sees King Barishat is hesitant. He may be ready to hear the class, understand, but not ready to put action. In Kali Yuga, many people are like that. There was once a devotee whose house I visited, and he has nice Gauranitai deities. But he doesn't offer flowers to Gauranitai. Lazy boy, couple. So I told him I need a PowerPoint presentation to give to a certain audience next week on why it is important to offer flowers to deities, why Krishna likes flowers. And he said, yes, Prabhuji, I'll make and give you. And he spent 9 to 3 hours or maybe more and made a very nice, fantastic PowerPoint presentation with nice pictures and nice quotes from Gita and Bhagavatam and nectar of devotion, that how Krishna likes flowers. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Krishna is personally asking me to give flowers. And Krishna wears Vajanti garland, and Radharani makes everyday garland for Krishna and offers. And Krishna's whole body is decorated with flowers. Oh, such a fantastic presentation, PPT you made of why devotees should offer flowers to Krishna. Then I told him, why don't you see this presentation? He said, Prabhuji, I made it, I saw it. I said, then why don't you offer flowers to your deities? So many times I came to your house, you don't offer flowers. That's laziness. Interested in giving a class, interested in hearing a class, interested in making a PowerPoint presentation, but not ready to act on it, not ready to perform devotional service, or not ready to do Mangalarti, but ready to preach Mangalarti. That's not kind of devotee Prabhupada is wanting. Who are lip service. Lip service means they serve by lips, not by actions, not by other actions. So King Barishat, he understood what Narad Muni wants to say. He understood that. Okay, 1 second, somebody is on the door. अरे मैं बोला कट करने का नहीं, बोल दिया 2 बार, परेशान करते हैं आप लोग, क्लास चालू है मेरा. Okay, sorry. So King Barishat understood, but he's not ready to take the final commitment. He is not ready to renounce and perform devotional service. He is still thinking about his family life, that, oh, my kingdom, my house, let my sons come back from the forest who have gone for austerities. Let me hand over the kingdom to them. Let me make sure they marry. Then I will renounce. So Narad Muni gives another allegory, another story. He says there is a deer with a female deer, and both are eating grass in a beautiful flower garden. And there are lots of flowers, and there are lots of bees, and they are sweetly humming. And deer is enjoying nice female association, nice flowers, nice tasty flavor, sweet grass, and nice humming sound. But there is a tiger near the deer waiting to pounce and eat the deer. And there is hunter behind with a bow and arrow ready to pierce the body of the deer. And this deer is eating grass with female association. So now we said, don't be like a deer. You are in your family life, enjoying the sweet talk of wife and child, enjoying sense objects. But there is time who is going to kill you. That's the nature of time. It kills everybody. And there is death behind you. Every person has to die. Every person knows. My great-grandfather died, his father died, my grandfather died, my father died, but I am going to be alive. No, you are also going to die. What are you doing about it? If something is surely going to happen in the future, shouldn't we prepare for it? We should prepare for it. So I am surely going to die. And after death, I will take birth in hellish planets, or I'll become a cat, or a dog, or a donkey, or a bird, or a fish, or a tree. So I should do something about it. How long I will continue in this cycle of birth and death, birth and death, birth and death, and disease and old age. So now I'm saying, don't be like that deer, busy eating grass and not aware of the tiger and the hunter, not aware of the future death and entanglement in hellish planets. So in other words, a householder should know that he should not be householder whole life. In slaughterhouse, there are goats. One by one, a goat is slaughtered. And what the goat which is waiting to be slaughtered does, eats grass. There is grass available. The goat is seeing the goat in front of me is being cut, but not worried, eating grass. I am next person to be slaughtered, but I am eating grass. Is that foolishness? That's not intelligence. So the jiva, the soul, is not this body, is not husband or wife or father or mother or Indian or American or brother and sister. The soul is part and parcel of Krishna. That is our relationship with Krishna, eternal relationship. But forgetting that relationship, we make new relationships. With every birth, we get a set of parents, mother and father. Then we have husband or wife and children. And we maintain that relationship till death, forgetting the eternal relationship with Krishna. And the next birth, again same cycle. We forget Krishna and a new husband and new wife, and again new children and new parents, and again continue. Somewhere we have to put a full stop. An intelligent person should understand, I don't want to continue in this cycle of birth and death. So that's what Narad Muni is saying. That life is not for sense gratification, but for devotional service. So a person should eventually retire from active social life, from active earning life, from active sex life, from active sense gratification life and fruitive activities. And he should retire. That's vanaprasth. When the children grow up, get married, and taking care of their own families, a person should retire. And in a guidance, under the guidance of a pure devotee, a Param Hamsa, swan bird. The reason a devotee is compared to Hamsa is swan. If you give a pot of milk and water together to a swan, the swan will filter out, drink milk, and water will remain. The swan can distinguish between water and milk. In the same way, a Vaishnava can distinguish between spiritual and material, that this is to be done, this is not to be done, very easily, by his mode of goodness and higher consciousness. So such a devotee, pure devotee, should be accepted as a bona fide spiritual master, who is a transparent via media to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sakshat Hari. And under his guidance, a person should practice devotional service. Under his guidance, a person should serve Krishna, and in that way develop his attachment to Krishna, so that his eternal relationship with Krishna is revived. Now, who is such a devotee? How to identify? We don't identify a sadhu by dress and by address. Don't judge by dress and address. Anybody can wear a saffron dress, and anybody's address can be ISKCON or Haridwar or Vrindavan or Gaudiya Math or some spiritual organization. No. A bona fide spiritual master, first of all, is identified that he has a bona fide spiritual master. That's the first criteria. A bona fide spiritual master is one who has a bona fide spiritual master. Then how he is bona fide? he has a bona fide spiritual master. How he is bona fide? He has a bona fide spiritual master. Like this, there is a disciplic succession going to Krishna. That's called Sampradaya. So bona fide spiritual master, the first criteria is he should have a bona fide spiritual master, which means he should be initiated in a Sampradaya, Vaishnava Sampradaya, 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas, Brahma Sampradaya, Kumar Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya. So second qualification is a bona fide spiritual master should have learned from his spiritual master. Not just he should have a bona fide spiritual master, but he should have learned from him. Just like if I want to become teacher of physics and want to teach the student, the first criteria the student will ask is, where did I learn physics? I say, oh, I learned in the womb of my mother. No, unless you are a teacher in a university, how will I know? Oh, something happened. One second, boys. Devotees. Hare Krishna.
Yes, bro. We lost you for like.
I don't know what happened. Now connected, right?
Yes, but we can't see you. But if you want to talk.
Oh.
Yeah.
It says ringing.
We can hear you. We can't just see you.
I don't know what is happening. So bona fide spiritual master has to be identified that a teacher has to be identified that he has learned from a university. Then only he can become my teacher. And the second is, okay, which university? Okay, I am from so and so university. Very nice. What were your marks? Oh, I failed in physics. Oh, if you are in a good university, you took admission, but you failed, how can you be teacher? So not only I should have a bona fide spiritual master, but I should have learned from him. I should have passed the exam. Then the third is the bona fide spiritual master should walk his talk. A sadhu should not preach if he is not practicing. Doesn't make sense. That I tell somebody don't smoke cigarette and I am smoking cigarette. Or I tell somebody chant 16 rounds but I don't chant 16 rounds. Or I send somebody to attend Mangalarti and I don't attend. It will not be effective at all. It will not go and transform the heart. Only people will like the lecture. They will comment Hare Krishna, very nice lecture on Facebook, and they'll give a thumbs up, but they will not change their heart. So walk the talk. One should practice what he is preaching, and one should preach what he is practicing. That's bona fide spiritual master. Fourth qualification is the bona fide spiritual master should explain to the disciple or his audience as per logic and argument, not blind faith that I am saying you agree. No. So much vast knowledge is there in the scriptures. Why? To explain to us, to convince us intellectually that yes, I should voluntarily accept the process of bhakti and surrender to Krishna and practice Krishna consciousness. So bona fide spiritual master doesn't encourage blind faith. That whatever I say you agree. Even though that's true, a bona fide spiritual master speaks absolute truth. But he explains it through logic and argument according to the level of intelligence and comprehension of the audience. As per the audience ability. Fifth is the bona fide spiritual master's character should be perfect, his behavior should be perfect, should follow proper etiquette, he should be intelligent enough to guide the disciple as per the nature of the disciple, to engage the disciple as the nature of the disciple. And his senses should be in control, he should not be greedy for dakshina or money or opulence or bank balance. You should just purely serve Krishna. No ownership of disciples or opulence or projects or positions or respect. Just purely preach Krishna consciousness. Transparent via media. Paramhamsa. So conditioned soul should take shelter of Paramhamsa, who has taken shelter of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a representative of Krishna. And under his guidance, he should conduct his life. He is to stay with him in the ashram. Earlier, ashram means the saintly personalities, they will go to the forest and stay, or very simple kutia and stay. That is good for bhakti. But Srila Prabhupada explained to us that we are preaching, and we are preaching to city people. And a preacher who wants to preach to city people, if he stays in the forest, how many city people are going to come and visit him? My dear Prabhuji, please give me knowledge. Nobody is going to go to the forest to search for saintly person. So the saintly person has to come to city and host these city people. And so he has to create a facility like a temple. So that temple has amenities. The visitors can come to hear from a saintly person. So a saintly person comes to the city and lives in a palatial temple, in a nice temple hall, in a nice room. And the visitors come and hear him, because these visitors are not going to go to the forest and hear him. So these visitors will require parking, these visitors will require washrooms, these visitors will require cleanliness, these visitors will require staying accommodation rooms and nice prasadam and place to move around and chairs to sit. So these amenities have to be created, not for sense gratification or not for opulent lifestyle, but so that visitors can come and comfortably hear Srimad Bhagavatam, so that gradually they come to know this comfort is not required. Actual pleasure and actual ananda is Krishna consciousness. So that's how Prabhupada created so many temples, 108 temples in his life. And now there are so many 800 centers all over the world. And every center is equipped with amenities so that people can come and hear. Right in Columbus, we are about to get ready another palace for the lordships, so that more people can come and comfortably sit and take darshan and have prasadam and hear Krishna consciousness, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, associate with devotees. And we should help such projects. When we help a construction of a temple, then till next thousands of years, every single person who comes and practices bhakti because of the existence of the temple, some credit goes to the person who constructed the temple. So for thousands of years, we'll keep getting credit of future devotees who will come and chant in the temple, dance in the temple, preach in the temple, or hear in the temple, and festival and abhishek and so many things. So saintly person should not be attracted to this material opulence. He should not be attracted to this. But he should arrange in today's modern society a place where people can come and gather and practice Krishna consciousness. Then only he can preach. That's called Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya means utility is the principle. Everything should be used in the service of Krishna. And when that object is being used in service of Krishna and I artificially renounce it, then I am not doing correct. So Prabhupada, we are using technology like this class we are doing through internet and mobile and iPads and laptops. So we are using technology in the service of Krishna, or in the temple we use sound system and projectors and electricity. So everything can be used in the service of Krishna. But one should not go into a pitfall that in the name of Krishna one is getting fascinated by this technology or sense objects and getting more and more absorbed in thoughts of such devices or such gadgets or such opulence. We are here to be Krishna conscious, not technology conscious or gadget conscious. So minimum requirement. After that, close it and keep it away. Not that I sit on internet and waste my time or damage my consciousness with movies or unwanted material and content or news. So a conditioned soul is in the cycle of material entanglement. And in human form of life, he is intelligent enough to understand this. If I am diseased and I don't even know I am diseased, then how will I get cured? Why will I go to doctor? So just to know that there is a problem is a big solution, is a big step towards solution. So animals don't even know that they are going to be slaughtered or they are just doing sense gratification. But human form of life we can understand that I am going to go to hell. I am going to get a pig body or a dog body. So let me stop this sense gratification. Let me refrain from fruitive activities. Let me refrain from activities which will make me further entangled in material nature. And let me practice pure Krishna consciousness. Keep Krishna in the center of my life. Sleep for Krishna, eat for Krishna, breathe for Krishna, walk for Krishna, earn for Krishna, perform work for Krishna, which means get up early morning so that I can do Mangalarti. This which means get up early morning and take bath so that I am ready for Mangalarti. Apply tilak, wear fresh clothes, washed clothes, clean clothes, and chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And pay Dandavat Pranam and Narsingh Aarti and Tulsi Aarti and Guru Puja and hear Srimad Bhagavatam class. And if I am an earning member of the society, utilize my income in the charity of Krishna devotees and cows and preaching activities. And read Srimad Bhagavatam and preach Krishna consciousness to my contacts. Use my skill, talent and knowledge in the preaching mission. So 24 hours I am connected to Krishna. Keep Krishna in the center of my life and family. Have deities in the home and all family members together serve the deity. So in that way, this human form of life is purified. The noble aim of human form of life is to revive our relationship with Krishna. So that has to be done. So intelligent person in human form understands this. And this is only possible by association of devotees, not by alone. That's why Srila Prabhupada started his call, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So we should connect to devotees, we should visit temples, and we should perform devotional service, we should maintain nice relationship with devotees, and under proper pure guidance, we should take decisions in our life so that our progress, our spiritual progress keeps happening day and day. We keep growing in Krishna consciousness, which means we become more dependent on Krishna. Our faith on Krishna increases, our attachment to Krishna increases. We like to chant the holy name, we like to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we like to serve Vaishnavas, we are eager to serve Vaishnavas, and we are having a nice friendly relationship with all other living entities. Lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion is all getting cleared up. Material desires are reducing, we are living a simple life. And no more we are having ambitions for sense gratification and opulence, but we are having desires to serve Krishna, to more and more to develop this attachment to Krishna. So this we have to try in this human form of life. Mrigari, he was a hunter who was very sinful and violent. He would kill animals half and enjoy seeing them crying in pain and trembling and shivering, half dead. And when Narad Muni saw this, he told Mrigari, stop killing animals. That's sinful. Throw your bow and arrow, retire from your active family life. Whatever you have earned till now in sinful way, distribute all that in charity to Vaishnavas. And go to the forest and live very simply in one dhoti with your wife, in one sari under a small cottage. And in front of Tulsi Maharani, every day chant Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And Mrigari did that and became a pure devotee of Krishna. When Narad Muni again visited him, Mrigari went near him, wanted to offer obeisances, but he saw ants on the path. And he understood, if I offer obeisances, the ants will get pain. So he removed all the ants very softly from the path. So So I was talking about Meghadi. He was sinful, violent hunter. And by chanting the holy name of Krishna under the guidance of pure Narad Muni, he became non-violent person. He didn't even want to kill an ant. So that's the change happened in his heart by association with the pure devotee. So then Parvat Muni told Narad Muni, you are touch stone, Paras Mani. What is Paras Mani? A Paras Mani, when it touches iron, that iron becomes gold. So when we iron come in contact with the pure Paramhamsa, then we become gold, we become better version of our own self. We become a better human, a better citizen, a better devotee. So this bhakti is so powerful that a great transformation can happen in a life. And great transformation can happen in others' life. If we are well-wishers of others and we see they have bad habits or they need some change and correction in their life, we should give them Krishna consciousness. We should give them Bhagavatam, we should give them holy name. And we should encourage them to practice Krishna consciousness in association of devotees. Then we'll see they will change and they will become a better flower, better devotees. That's the only way we can reform others. Just by having police and jail and judge, society is not getting free from crimes. The person who becomes a criminal and is arrested and is put into jail, when he comes out, he's still a criminal. Even though he has undergone a punishment, but he has not changed. He is not get corrected, he is still a criminal. We want a criminal to also change, to become a better person in the society. And that's not possible by ordinary means of judge and jail and police. It's only possible by Krishna consciousness. And we have several examples. When Prabhupada went to West, he met hippies who were addicted to drugs and meat eating and liquor and gambling and illicit sex. And Prabhupada made them sannyasis and pure devotees. Vaishnavas who never heard about Krishna in their life, they became devotees. And now also it's happening. So only Krishna consciousness is a way to change people's life. So we should adopt it in our life and we should preach, we should encourage others to practice. Then only we'll have a better society around us. So Janma Satakari Kara Para Upkar. Every single devotee has his responsibility to practice Krishna consciousness and preach to others, encourage others, introduce others to Krishna, to the holy name, to Prabhupada books, to prasadam, to temple, to classes. And in that way more and more devotees will appear. Millions of devotees will appear, the movement will expand and we'll have a better society. Otherwise what we see in newspaper nowadays, that's going to continue. No change. And eventually we will be suffering. We're already suffering due to COVID. One person in some China country didn't wash his hands and now whole world is washing their hands with sanitizer. See, we are not away from the problems of the society. So we have to introduce Krishna consciousness everywhere. So we should all join together to preach Krishna consciousness or assist in existing preachers, temples. And that's the mission of Srila Prabhupada. Okay, we will end here. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. If there are any questions or comments, you may please ask.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the very nice class. Anybody like to say anything? Question.
I am not on Wi-Fi now, so I think the connection lost because of mobile data network.
Lost you.
Yeah, any questions?
So, Prabhu, one I can ask a question.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it is said that, whatever is favorable, or it is said, what is favorable for spiritual life, one should accept. What is not favorable, one should reject. So, somebody may say, well, I am not able to renounce this because I am not in that situation where I can renounce. So it is not good for me. It will be unfavorable for me to renounce, so that I will not be able to. I'll be disturbed in my mind. So you are saying that how one should give up, as Prabhupada also says. But if one is not in that level of renunciation, but at home he can practice peacefully, and it is more conducive for his spiritual life than to give up, because he'll become disturbed by it. So what would you say then? Isn't that the principle, that what is favorable one should accept, and what is not favorable one should not change unless one is, feeling good in that situation, right? So what would you say to that?
Well, if somebody is performing devotional service as well as sinful activities or sinful habits, then I would say he should renounce. I would not say him, okay, you continue sinful activities because you are not able to do it or it's favorable to you. He should renounce. But if somebody is not doing sinful activities but attached to comfort, convenience, and sense gratification, then in initial stages we would encourage him to dovetail. Dovetail his opulence and sense objects in the service of Krishna. That means you are attached to eating nicely, you offer and eat. But keep on Shravanam and Kirtanam, keep on hearing and chanting, so that voluntarily you come to the platform of renunciation. So renunciation is not done by just obedience that I tell and you do, or spiritual master tells and the candidate does. It has to be voluntary from the heart. Another point is that preaching has to happen in a very strong way. Otherwise, people would never like to leave their comfortable zone. Nobody like Dhritarashtra. He didn't want to renounce at all. Vidura come and chastised him, spoke strong language and told him, you are a dog. You are a dog. Bhima is throwing food on you. And finally, the strong language worked. So seeing the candidate who is ready for further progress in Krishna consciousness, but some little attachment is there, then one has to be strong enough to help them to come over their attachment. So yeah, I agree with you, it has to be a gradual transition, but it has to be gradual transition. It has to be, it should not stop. So the help should be provided so that a person voluntarily renounces sense object. Not everybody has to stay in forest or everybody has to stay in temple. I understand devotees would prefer to stay in their homes, but then at least they should renounce in active social and earning life and just 24 hours practice Krishna consciousness, staying near a temple or in a dham. So finally the spiritual progress should happen. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, anybody else like to ask any question? Yeah, Pritesh, to ask. Go ahead, Pritesh. You raised your hand. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible?
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for wonderful class. And I had a question. Nowadays, like I work in IT, so nowadays we have a lot of people doing certifications and all, and then there's effort involved in doing all the additional work than the day-to-day work that we do. So if somebody tries to do that additional work, would that fall under like that? There's a verse, right? Atyahara prayasascha. Would that be? Is that recommended to do extra work just to maintain a nice life, or one should stop doing those kind of activities? I'm not sure if I would like to understand what should one do in this kind of situation.
Okay, what do you mean by additional work or extra work?
So Prabhuji, for example, I'm doing my day-to-day job fine, but I also see that some additional things are necessary for me to maintain the current work that I'm doing, and maybe and also advance in my career basically. So
And I know, I also know that, okay, it needs extra effort on my part. Like I may also have to spend a couple of more hours doing that every day. So, what should one do in that case?
You're
So, for
talking about
example,
additional skill training or additional studies
yes,
to
Prabhuji.
improve in your own
Yes, Prabhu.
field so that you get promotion in the
Yes, Prabhu.
future or you are competitive
Yes, Prabhu.
and or
Yes,
additional
Prabhuji.
income. Okay, so what I would say is that at your current stage of bhakti, you take this decision of additional to do or not based on 5 factors: your health, your family, your finance, your sadhana, your seva. So, if by doing additional work, if your health is not getting affected, if the time you need to give to your family is not getting affected, if your present finance is not getting affected, your daily sadhana which you are already doing is not getting affected, if your service which you are doing is not getting affected, if by doing a new activity these 5 are not getting affected, you are safe to do that activity. If the motivation for doing that activity is only money, while you have sufficient source of income, sufficient income already, a good source of income, just for money or greed, and if you can instead of that be greedy to increase your bhakti, that would be better. But if it is because there are some competitive challenges or financial challenges, you have to maintain your life, then it's okay without disturbing the 5. That okay, I need promotion or I need to increase my income, so I need this training or this skill, this new knowledge, without damaging your health, family, sadhana, seva. You can do that, right? So the goal of life is to increase our bhakti and maintain our body. So if for maintenance of body something is required, we do, but we don't make it complicated or cumbersome. And it should not be out of greed. If it is out of greed, it's atyahara. It's too much labor for a small benefit. And if the expenses which we have, if we can try to reduce and live a simple life, then this additional income would not be required. So we have to judge what is our standard of living. Whatever standard of living we are used from childhood, are we trying to increase, and that's why this is happening? If you are used with some standard of living from childhood and that much is maintained, that's fine. If you can't go down, at least that much is mentioned, it's fine. You are with me, Pritesh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so
Yes,
I saw in many homes, in my own home, I saw in my childhood we used to use a very simple soap. But then Lux advertisement started coming on the television. Now everybody in my house wanted Lux, and that's 10 times more costly because some Bollywood heroine is selling it. So we should avoid artificial increasing the standard of living. Okay?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the detailed explanation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All the best. Any more questions?
Prabhu, you were saying that we should preach according to our realization, right? I mean, we should preach what we practice. And so you were saying that if I am smoking, then I cannot tell others to smoke. So sometimes we say we should become pure devotees, but I myself am not pure devotee, but we say goal of life is to become pure devotee, like that. So we say all. So is that okay, or I mean?
Well, yeah, you're done.
Yes.
Well, so when we preach, we should not claim to be what we are not, claim to be more advanced than what we are. We should not do that. And we should not preach as an independent advanced devotee, but we should preach as a postman, as a messenger of Krishna, sharing Krishna consciousness with others. So there's a difference between a class teacher and a senior student who may help a junior student. So if I am in 6th class, I may help a person with his homework in 4th class because I have passed the 4th class, I know. But I am not a class teacher, so I don't claim to be a class teacher when I am helping a person doing homework of 4th class. I am a 6th class senior student, and we both have a class teacher or we both have a principal. So we have Prabhupada, we have spiritual master, and we are helping other devotees because we are a bit senior in the movement, helping others. So in that way one should preach for one's own purification and benefit, rather than thinking that I am greater than this person or I am more advanced, or rather than claiming to be more advanced or showing externally more advanced than what the person is inside. So that one should avoid. So yeah, we can preach about the goal of life, that I am not a pure devotee, but we all need to become pure devotees, and this is the process Prabhupada taught, which I am trying to follow and sharing with you that you also follow. Is that okay?
Yes. The recent happening that is going on around us really bothers me. To be honest, I'm too far from renunciation and all that. It makes my blood boil. For example, I'm from South, from Tamil Nadu, and this ruling atheist party, they are talking social justice and they don't understand how the temple functions, all that. And, they are letting everybody who can be, temple priests and stuff, and sometimes it involves their atheist party. So they are atheists coming in, the bad elements from Christian missionary comes in, stuff like that. And I see some pictures there, this one atheist party appointed priest is stepping on Garuda and then stepping on Narayana's, the Utsava Murti that we call, the deity that is taken around in procession. So he's stepping on him, trying to do decoration, and then they're, behaving in a desecrating manner. And it makes me very mad, and I want to do something about it. So this kind of thing, I know we have gone through in our history before. Our acharyas have gone through when Muslims can invade it and done a lot of bad things. And how do we deal with this kind of feeling? I mean, I cannot, keep my mind clear during those times. So how to deal with that? I cannot keep a calm mind.
Okay, so your initial part I didn't gather, but what I understood is there is some report of news coming in where people are uneducated in dealing with deities and temple activities. But
Yes.
they are appointed to do that, and they are doing offenses. And what should we do? What should, right? You are being concerned and disturbed. Am I right?
Yes,
So,
Prabhuji.
if there are ways to educate and change and correct, we should get involved in that. If there are forums where you can protest against this, you can do that. But if there's nothing much you can do from that far, then stop watching news and concentrate on what is happening around you and make change there, so that that change is reflected in the society and travels to the location. Right? So I'm not saying ignore for the sake of ignore. I'm saying when we are not able to, whether it is circle of influence or circle of concern, that's the concept here. That there is something which you can do in your family and your neighborhood, so let's put energy there and change a person there, rather than where I can't do. So there is a person very far away who is doing offenses. There is a person very near in the city also who is sinful and doing offenses. So whom I can reach, whether my city where I am living or some other place where I am concerned of. So go out on the streets and do Harinam. There are people around your house who are also sinful and offensive, who are also atheists. Do Harinam, do book distribution, and let this knowledge spread. But if you can't ignore, it's too much, then we have to do some action. If there are forums of protest and forums of changes, we contribute to that forums. So, think global but act local. That's the point.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Prabhuji.
I took it from our Mumbai airport. Think global, act local. They have a motto like that, tagline like that. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Any more questions?
So, Prabhu, the personal question, how
Yeah.
did your parents react when you joined as a because you gave up your thing, and this verse is also talking about renunciations. Did your family react when you joined, and you have masters from IIT, and you, so
Well-
what was
well,
how did
after-
you over?
Sorry? Yeah. You have finished?
Yes.
Yeah, well, after I finished my post-graduation, my master's, I was already decided to join. And I knew it's going to be very difficult for my family because in my whole khandan, in my whole family, not a single person had done college, forget IIT. In my whole city, not a single person had done IIT. I was only one. So my whole family never knew what is value of IIT. They just thought I'm studying in Bombay. So they had very great expectation. We had financially lots of loans because my father stopped earning much before when I was in 12th standard, my father stopped earning, so I was the only earning person. But when I came to IIT, even that income stopped, so we were on loans, hoping that after my IIT they will clear up. So then I told my elder sister that just for few months you take care emotionally, then they will be okay. But I was wrong, they are not okay still, kind of. So once I joined, it was very heavy for my family. I went after my exams to my house. 30 days we had 30 programs. Every day I should give class in my house. And at the last day I announced tomorrow I am joining. So my parents thought I am just making a joke. But I took my bag and I joined. So when they realized I am not going to come back, so they came to the temple, cried, and such stuff happened. But then I was a little jiddi, little stubborn, determined. So now that I accepted the fact that okay, I'm not going to come back. Now my mother, when she sometimes meets devotees and they say, oh, Gokuleshwar Prabhu's mother, she gets lots of respect, so she becomes happy. Kind of, yeah. So, but now they are okay, I am happy, so they are okay. They both chant 16 rounds and offer, they have Radha Krishna deities in the house, they offer aarti, and my father goes to purchase flowers every day and mother makes garland, and they host devotees and feed them prasadam, do kirtan, and chanting 16 rounds, following 4 Vedic principles.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay, we'll end.
Yeah, I think that's it. No one says any comments.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu, very much.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.